Okay, so we're live, but we can just continue our conversation about socks until 11 o'clock when everyone else gets on here, and then they'll wonder why we were talking about socks. But no, I really like them. Also, you don't have to, they come in black and white, but they also have patterned ones or whatever. I just like the white and black ones because they match my shoes.
Gotcha.
And if you don't, I mean, they only really come in the low.
Okay.
If you like taller ones, they do have them at the outlet sometimes for less. Like in the winter, I just got Jay a whole bunch of pairs. I didn't realize they were like super tall, like crew cut, like, you know, when we were in the 80s and wore our socks like that. But so he wears those in the winter.
Gotcha.
But they were a deal, so he got them. He tries to wear them like with shorts and like tennis shoes, and I'm like, dude, you're not old enough to walk out of the house like that.
Hasn't hit 65 yet.
I'm just waiting for him to put on like some Teva sandals with them and some jorts and tuck his t-shirt in with a belt, and he's good to go.
You got to put him out to pasture at that point.
He can go out to pasture. He can go live with someone else because I'm not being feet with him. He has, so Turtle didn't outgrow, but he had a pair of Nike slides and they just fell apart. And so he didn't have any duct tape. So he used blue painter's tape, you know, for the edging, and he taped his flip flop, and he was totally wearing them everywhere we went. And I was like, you can't do that, dude. I'll get you a new pair of flip flops. They're not that expensive, or slides. And so I thought he threw them away. Now I catch Jay wearing them, and he thinks he can wear them in public. I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? I mean, I know times are tough, but we can afford a pair of $20 sandals. I said, these things are going to just disappear one day.
That's the only way they're going to go. You gotta
I'm just going to have to wait till nobody's looking, and they just go. But I'll throw things away, and they will dig them out. I swear, they are hoarders, and I am a purger.
Yeah, you gotta bury it.
You have to do it all in garbage day.
Yeah.
Yeah, bury it. It's gonna go like in a bag of garbage, in with like the food, so they don't go digging. Crazy they are.
Just not worth it. Just not worth it. I'm checking on our kids to make sure that they're
Doing what they're supposed to.
If they're quiet, they're definitely up to no good. They're behind the bar. Making themselves a Roy Rogers.
Yeah, the soda guy.
Yeah.
Make sure they have the right gun.
Yeah. But it's not good unless there's like ice around it. So now they're like, we don't have the ice out to, you know, keep the wells cold. But they're like, it just doesn't taste right. But they'll still make themselves like a suicide with a gun. So it's like,
no, man, that's so gross.
Pepsi and Sprite and everything else in it.
Oh, do you guys have the good ice? Like the you know what I'm talking about? The good ice?
No.
You like the tiny, like whatever.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
When we get a new ice machine, I'm sure we'll upgrade to that. But
Turtle's girlfriend's family, they have a commercial good ice maker. Mm-hmm. And so I went online and looked to buy one, and I was like, that's like more than my refrigerator. But that would be the ultimate, like, when I redo my kitchen. Oh yes, it does, like, I don't even know how much it holds, but it's awesome. I was like, I need one of those. Mm-hmm. Not the little countertop version. Oh dang it! I should have known from last week. Hold on, I got to turn my Roomba off. I have a whole checklist for these shows, and you would think I would remember to turn the Roomba off since it's at 11 o'clock.
Do you like the Roomba? Does it?
Oh my gosh, I love the Roomba. I was so anti-Roomba until I went to visit my mom, and hers is called Molly because you can name it in the app. So she has Molly because it's like Molly the maid. Well, mine is Zoomy because it zooms around the house. But when I went to visit my mom, she was showing me it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that'd be awesome, because we have 2 dogs that shed everywhere, and I'm constantly picking up little fur balls. It looks like they're like just pigs. Because of the wood. And now it goes off every day at 11, and it picks up all the hair, and boom, done. So it's great.
We got a new Dyson, but I feel like I'm constantly vacuuming. Like every every day there's more and more.
That's why you need a Zoomy or a Molly.
Do your dogs attack it?
No, they didn't like it like the first couple of days. They don't even pay attention to it now.
Gotcha.
But no, it's great. When we got that, it's like about the price of a Dyson, maybe a little less, a little more, depending on which one you get. But when I went to buy a Dyson, Jade's like, "Why are you buying a Dyson? For the housekeeper to use?" He goes, "Just get the cheaper vacuum." I was like, "All right, fair point."
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's 11:01, so I think we should probably start talking about things other than socks and
Vacuums.
But these are good tips for people, I think. So hello to everyone that's joining us right now. These are my really, really good friends, Sam and Todd. I've known them for a very long time, but that's not why they're on here. They're on here today to talk to you guys about the business that they own, the Gold Mine Tavern, which is located at 23 South Water Street in the downtown Henderson. And if you aren't familiar, that area is really, really different than it was when I was growing up. And it's being redeveloped, and it's super, super cool nowadays. Sam, I'm going to tell them just a little bit about, actually, you know what? I forgot. I got to read your bio because you guys are a big deal. So Sam gave me a bio that was like this big, so I had to expand upon it a little bit. Because Sam and Todd are probably the most humble people you'll ever meet that don't like to talk about themselves. So I had to talk about them for them. Right. Sam and Todd are both native Las Vegans, which in today's world is very rare, but it's becoming more and more popular. But I think that's really cool that they're both native Las Vegans and are graduates of UNLV. Sam, what's your degree in?
Finance.
And Todd?
It's actually financial services and managerial finance.
It's finance.
He's like super smart.
Yeah.
Sam has had and still runs a very successful business in real estate investing. And Todd recently retired. He's like Benjamin Button. Recently retired from his accounting job to work full time in the family business. The gold mine started rocking and rolling in 1965, long before Sam and Todd were even born. And it's still rocking today. Sam and Todd bought the gold mine in 2018 and gave it a facelift, which we all use now and then, and updated a few things while maintaining its original charm. Sam and Todd can often be found at the tables working. Right now, their kids are doing their online education at the bar. Or just hanging out and enjoying one of the incredible live bands or eating some of the food from their very own food truck. But they know when certain patrons come in, you never ever mess with the jukebox. I learned that firsthand. One of their guests, he basically owns that, and don't change the music or you get in big trouble. They've managed to turn around a historical tavern and feel incredibly lucky to be in the Henderson redevelopment area with the support of the local government and new businesses on historic Water Street in downtown Henderson. So, like I said, if you haven't been down there recently, it's really got a very cool vibe, and it's definitely not like it was when I was growing up anyways. So that's Sam and Todd. And why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves? You're both natives, which is pretty rare. But like I said, there's more and more of you guys as the town is aging, and the older I get, which my mom reminded me the other day that I'm almost 40. She said, she goes, "Oh yeah, I was talking to someone. I said, can you believe Chanel's going to be 40 this year?" I said, "Why do you keep referencing that? Why don't you say, I'm going to be 60 this year?" And she said, "It just doesn't have the same ring." So tell us a little bit about yourselves.
So we're both born here. I have a real estate brokerage that I run, and then we also flip properties here in a few other markets. Todd retired from the corporate life, so we were looking for something for him to do that wasn't real estate related.
Other than golf?
Yeah. And just owning like rentals or doing flips. And so when this came on the market, Water Street to me always had a magic to it. Growing up here, that we would come down here for conventions, and there was always businesses, and it's one of the few places in our community that I think has that small Main Street feeling where you can go to a gift shop next to ice cream store and park and walk up and down the street. And so when this came available, we jumped on it. And we were lucky that many people before us had, expanded and added to it, and they never closed it and kept it open. So we just kind of feel like we're standing on the shoulders of giants who've kept the charm, and we're just adding our own touches to it.
Very cool. And Todd?
To kind of add on to that, again, both natives, born and raised, graduated from Bonanza High School.
Good old Mr. Gunderson.
Yeah. From there, UNLV, graduated in 2000, joined a local software services company right out of kind of college, and worked there until I was almost 40. And then the goal was to then try to find a new adventure. And I knew that my wife would be able to find that for me. She's always getting me into adventures. So this was the next one that she chose. And so it's been quite the process. I mean, learning all the new things, because neither of us really have a background in any of this. So it's been kind of a learning process all along. And it's been a really cool process.
Awesome.
I didn't think I was going to learn so much, and I have.
So from like accounting to bar, that's not even remotely similar.
No,
but you're owning a business, so you're able to utilize what you went to school for, in essence.
Correct.
Very cool.
That's been exciting, is being able to kind of construct everything on the back end from a business perspective.
And he has some really great spreadsheets. A lot of spreadsheets. I mean, he can tell you our ratio that we sell bourbon to vodka to beer. And one of the things I think is great with his business background that I don't think a lot of tavern owners have is he focuses on the 80-20 rule. So we'll hone in on what products are making us the most money. What do our clients want? And this is essentially what the 80-20 rule is telling you, and then eliminating the products that they don't want. So even if something we think would be great, but nobody buys it, we're not attached to that particular product or concept or idea, and we'll get rid of it because nobody's buying it. And
so
I think
you guys think of it more like a business, and it's not an emotional thing, where most businesses are run on emotion, sadly. Small businesses anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or they think, I have this great idea, this great concept, and that may not be what's really keeping you afloat. And so with Todd's analytical background, we can say, oh, okay, nobody wants canned beer. Like that was something we got rid of because it made it was almost like you're watching a bar rescue and you see like, oh, this slows everybody down. So we got rid of canned beer, even though that's where most craft was coming out. And then we realized people weren't buying craft beer from us. They might buy it from other places, but that wasn't something we were selling. So when we looked at the numbers, it was easy that we could eliminate those products to make our flow a lot easier for our bartenders and to serve more people quickly.
Awesome. So tell me, how did you guys meet? Was it in college, since you both went to UNLV? I mean, Sam, you look much younger than Todd, but I'm pretty sure.
That's crazy because the Botox is closed. We actually met on eHarmony, even though I think we probably crossed paths because we have the same degree at the same time, but it was eHarmony that brought us together.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't even know that. That's super cool.
You did? Okay.
eHarmony was like the original, that was the precursor to Match.com, and
his friends that were sick of him being single, so they set up a profile for him. So I was communicating with his friend's wife.
They were like, Todd needs to settle down.
Yeah. So for him, it was like one and done. I was his first and only date. And for me, I went on a date with anybody who asked, because it was like showing houses, right? Where you got to make sure you find the perfect house.
Yeah. And that's so funny, because that is so you guys complete opposites, but so perfect together.
Yes.
The yin to the yang.
Yes.
Todd, you talked about what you did before you retired. And I remember you doing that job, and it never seemed like you loved that job. You were really good at it, but it didn't seem like that was your passion. And since then, you seem so much happier. It doesn't seem like you're going to work every day, even though you're going to work. Would you say that's a fair statement?
It's fair that I think what it was I was missing the ability to completely steer the ship. And that's kind of what Sam was able to provide us, is our own business, where we get behind the wheel completely. You can use all of your skills to help, make the business that much better. And that was something I didn't necessarily have at the other position. The other position, very challenging. I learned an immense, amount of different things when it comes to how to run a business properly. And so it was nice to then say, okay, now it's time to apply these skills and make all of the decisions.
But it's got to be a little bit frustrating when, like Sam's saying, when you're the one looking at the numbers and you can see where the corrections maybe need to be made, but you can't actually make that decision.
Correct. I mean, you can make suggestions, you can do everything, but in the end, until you're the actual person in charge, and that's kind of what was missing. So we said, let's be the masters of our own destinies. And she was always good at that. Being real estate, she was somebody that had to be self-driven to be successful. And so it was something that I wasn't used to doing before. I'd always been used to working for somebody else. And so now to say that I'm in charge, we're in charge, that's, I think, one of the elements that was always missing. And it was time for me to experience it.
Awesome. And then, Sam, you talked a little bit about your other business, but I wouldn't say you're a typical real estate agent by any means. You do everything but regular real estate for all intents and purposes. But talk just a little bit about that, because I think the two kind of come together, and we can talk about that. But you've been through multiple markets where you've had to pivot, adapt, reinvent. And then I think that's kind of maybe prepared you in some ways for what's happening now. And with the tavern, you've had to, obviously nobody saw this happening, but maybe the two, that's prepared you in some ways mentally, maybe to do this.
So I've been in the business for almost 20 years now. I was in college when I got my license because my mom was buying an expensive house, and that commission was more than I have ever made. So I got my license because I was like, oh my gosh, this is, it was I think it was like $15,000, which is huge at that time. So I got that license. I joined a team so I could learn as much as possible, as fast as possible. So I joined a really, really busy team who had great leadership, where we got to sit in to see if somebody else made a mistake with like a hot water heater or a water softener or something. We all felt the mistake because we could talk about what was good, what was bad. When the REO market hit, I did everything I could to get REO accounts because I like that concept where you could wake up and have like 3 properties, and I didn't mind evicting people. I didn't mind doing cash for keys. I didn't mind going to like disgusting houses. And through that process, I learned how to flip houses because the banks were essentially flipping houses. They would take a house that had drywall holes throughout and, concrete in the piping, and then they made it livable in FHA. So when I would see opportunities, I would buy those for our family. And flip them from the skills I learned from the banks. And so after that, I was hooked, probably 6 or 7 years ago, and we started flipping. When the market here started to get more competitive, we looked for other markets to flip in. So now we're in probably about 4 other markets, flipping houses. And then I have about 8 or 9 agents that I've just gotten to know over the years that hang their license with me as well.
Okay. So I don't
offer you anything.
I'm a big proponent of saying you don't get rich typically selling real estate. It's when you start doing the things like you talked about, investing in the houses yourself. I mean, you can make a good living selling real estate, but you have to do a lot of it's a grind. So what in the world made you think like one day, hey, let's go buy this bar that's really old out on Water Street? It's not even like you live in the area.
No, I'm from the east side though, so I was familiar with Water Street growing up and coming out here with the convention center. I'm sure we came out here as a kid. Like I remember being out here, and it meant the world to me. Like it was just kind of like a mysterious place. Like it was magical. There was all these businesses, and it was like Fremont Street, but for locals. We were looking for something for Todd to do because we knew his company was for sale, and we weren't going to move to Pennsylvania with them. And so this came on the market, and we jumped on it. We've changed the exterior of it, but it was just such a great opportunity. We also like the way our bar is laid out where it's different than most bars. So when you come in here, everybody knows everybody, and
I would say it's more like a locals. It's like your local watering hole where you go after work to grab a beer before you go home.
But it's different than the big guys in town where they have like a big square and everybody's just gambling. Like our bar, if you want to go to the restroom, you have to walk by every single person in the bar, and everybody who's here, they don't look like each other. They don't work in the same field, but they're all so friendly and they all get along. And there could be somebody here to play pool and somebody's here to watch games. Somebody's here to gamble, but they all seem to have this community about them. Something that we really like. So I don't think we would have bought a bar if it wasn't this particular bar in this particular location. It's also great that it was in a redevelopment area. So the city is spending so much resources and time to revitalize this area. And there's so many new businesses that are also opening up that are introducing people who haven't grown up here to Water Street. That, like Juan's across the street just opened up, and that's brought so many people to the street that they can grow. And we have 2 breweries across the street from us, which is great. So people can go get dinner, go get a beer, come here and watch music. And it's like you're in another town.
I was going to say, it's kind of got a small town feel. Like you said, like in anywhere USA Main Street, but you're still in, Henderson, which is, still part of Las Vegas, basically. They're all connected. And I do love that because everybody thinks of Las Vegas or Henderson and they think of the Strip. The Strip is nothing. You don't walk the Strip unless you're a tourist. You just don't. But like you said, you can grab dinner. You can even get food at your place. You can, go to the little boutique next door. And speaking to the layout of your bar, I know firsthand, because we had our high school reunion there, that I had to go to the bathroom. And unfortunately, it was not to go to the bathroom. It was because I had a little too much to drink, seeing my friends after 20 years. And I needed to get there pretty quickly. And I couldn't because everybody and their brother was stopping me, even people that weren't there for the reunion. Hey, I've never seen you before. Oh, what's your name? And I'm thinking, if you don't stop talking to me, I'm going to lose my cookies on the pool table. But I finally made it to the bathroom. And I remember telling you, this is the cleanest bathroom I've ever seen. And thank God it smelled good because I wasn't in there to use the bathroom. So, but it really is all of these people. You do have to stop everywhere. So it is definitely an interesting and unique layout. So
it reminds me of bars like when I travel and go to like Chicago or New York or some of the bigger cities where it's long and narrow because that's how the architecture was of those towns. And so that's what it feels. So we're only 25 feet wide, but we're about 80 feet long. And so that's a much different layout than most of the bars here that are squares. So if I go into a different bar, I might sit in the corner and nobody will ever come talk to me or see me. But here, they just can't help it. Like they're going to walk by you. They're going to talk to you. And I think that's created a community amongst our clientele that they're friends, even though you're like, that's so weird that you guys would be friends. But they're all friends and they all know each other and they buy each other drinks and they look forward to seeing each other on the weekends or on a Tuesday or if it's karaoke or whatever we're doing.
I love that because it seems like in today's world, and I don't know if this is, I think it has a lot to do with social media, but people are social, they think, but really they're antisocial. So when they get in public, they don't know how to be social. And your place invites people to be social. And like you said, it doesn't matter if you are, like when I come in there, usually it's for business. So I'm dressed business, but there could be someone that's there that's a construction worker or someone there that's, anything. And everybody just, like you said, you don't look like you would talk to those people. Like it's not cliquey. If that's the only way I can describe it.
And that's something I felt when I went to other bars in town was that it was cliquey. Like a bar in Summerlin has a certain look. And if I didn't look that way when I went in, I wouldn't feel comfortable.
Exactly. You don't you feel like you have to dress a certain way or act a certain way or whatever. So that yours is very inviting because people of all types, all kinds. So tell me about the Jambulance because I love the Jambulance and I think it's a great concept and was a fantastic way to bring food to your bar that didn't have a kitchen. So this was along the lines of paid, pivot, adapt, innovate. That was incredibly innovative in my opinion.
So we thought the fastest way that we could get food here was to have a food truck, because we could have a food truck parked out front of our bar, but they wanted to guarantee a certain amount of sales, which as we're building the business, that wasn't going to happen. And they, we could have a late night crowd that wants to eat at 1:00, but our food truck left at 10. So we looked high and low for a food truck, and we found an ambulance. And so Jen, who's worked with me for a long time, has always asked us to buy an ambulance that she could turn into the Jambulance. And it was more to have like a DJ and do milkshakes was her original vision of it, which might happen once we do a permanent kitchen. But that's how we got the Jambulance here. So it fit in our back parking lot, and it's temporary until we get the city to approve our container concept. But it served the purpose, and it was very, it was easier for us to do than actually doing construction.
And the food is fantastic. Like the salt and pepper wings are so good.
Yeah, and we're limited to what we can do because we don't have an oven. So that we were forced to be creative, and it's a very small food truck. So we can only use a fryer and a flat top, basically.
But you guys come out with plenty of good food. That's all I know. That's all I care about. When you first bought the gold mine, neither of you guys spoke to this. Neither of you had food, beverage, gaming experience. Did you think, let's just buy this and see what happens? Or did you do a lot of research? If I had to guess, Todd did a lot of research, or maybe watch a few episodes of Bar Rescue, or you just bought it and then said, okay, all in, let's go.
I think until the minute we closed, I didn't think it was going to happen. I know that sounds weird, but I just didn't think we were going to actually close on it. And then we got approved with everything, and I was like, oh my gosh, we own a bar.
It's actually happening.
We bought a bar.
Yeah. And Todd's company was going through the sale when we were in escrow, so I don't think he spent as much time researching it as he would have now. I mean, now he researches every type of bourbon or rum or products coming out in the market, or anything we can do to enhance our clients' experience. But
by research, do you mean taste tests?
If it comes to that.
Yes. But also to make sure that we have new products coming out. Like there's the Screwball peanut butter whiskey. We wanted to make sure we were one of the first people that had that out. We brought in 8 Ball chocolate whiskey that we brought in right before we closed. But I think we're one of the first people that have that. We have the Jameson cold brew. We just want to be more front of market for new products.
And when you're being first ones to have these things, is it kind of just hey, you like you said, the 80-20, you try it and see if it goes over well, and then and how do you do that? How do you get people to try these new things? Like, hey, do you offer a special, or how does that work?
And we normally have our regulars try stuff. So if a distributor is in here while we have guests, we always have our regulars try it because we want to know if they would buy it. Like, are they willing to spend the hard-earned money on that particular product? Because we don't want to bring in something that doesn't make sense for them. The Screwball whiskey, that went over great because who doesn't want, a peanut butter and jelly shot? But Todd will watch the sales to see what's being rung up and what people like. Where we had like the seltzers, one seltzer brand didn't do well and another one did. So we brought the one that did and we kept that in.
So which one does well? I want to know.
The White Claws sell a lot better than the Trulies.
Of course.
In our particular market.
Yeah.
In fact, we have a White Claw that I'll show you at the end. So it's like the old school games, like
no way. And then
it comes down.
Awesome. Okay. Tell us about the evolution of Gold Mine from the day you bought it until pre-COVID, because there's a mural behind you. I know that was something that you guys did, but what changes have you made to the Gold Mine? And I'm talking you talked about a minor facelift. So it wasn't the full, we have to be out of sight for, days. It was more like the weekend tuck, that I'm going to need now that my mom has told everyone I'm going to be 40. Or the Botox once that opens again.
Oh my gosh, we're going to have to make a date of that.
Yes.
So the first thing we came in, and I don't know if I can kind of show you our bar. So the first thing we saw was we needed to have better TVs for our guest experiences because we wanted a place where you could go watch games. So we got rid of the older TVs that were here and invested in new TVs. We slowly increased the hours. So we asked, even if we had to pay overtime, but we asked our closer to stay until people went home. And we've slowly moved up to being 24 hours. And we're the only bar on the street right now that's 24 hours. And so how much did our sales go up? About?
We had jumps of roughly 50% after the initial semi facelift, if you will.
Yeah. So year over year, we went up 50% just from that initial facelift.
Wow.
And I think it's just being consistent, like creating a more comfortable spot. We spent a lot of money on bar stools, as silly as that sounds, but it made it more comfortable for people to
sit longer.
And I looked long and hard, and I found used bar stools that we could reupholster, and that saved us, 75% of the cost, because bar stools are $500. I would not have known that before I bought a bar.
I could guess I freaking spent like $150 on my one bar stool from Pottery Barn.
Right. And so our bar stools, if we bought them brand new, would have been $500. So we spent, I think, $100 a bar stool, and then we paid to have them reupholstered. And that made a huge difference to people feeling comfortable and wanting to stay in the chairs. The TV, the ceilings, we just did everything we could to make it feel comfortable when you walk in. And we were up about double from like when we closed COVID. I mean, we were
still on pace for at least another 40% growth this year over year.
Didn't you guys also do something to back behind the bar, like make it so that people could see what was available? Like, if I remember correctly, you guys changed something else back there with the liquor, I think.
Yeah, so we put the liquor on top so you could see the liquor. We did here, I'll show you. We just adding like the wine racks there, so people knew that we had wine, and we increased our wine offerings. I mean, that grew that category. Just exponentially from the wine that was here when we bought it. And you have
it's brighter back there too, isn't it?
Yeah, we've added lights. And we've added actually even more lights that were here for St. Patrick's Day that didn't happen, but just
that was such a
light at night. So we have lights, if you can kind of see, like we did string lights on the ceiling that change color depending upon the holiday.
Very cool.
Yeah, because it gets a little dark.
What I was going to ask you, so Goldmine is it's very unique just all the way around. It's not your typical bar. It's not like anything else in Las Vegas or Henderson. One, in that it's very established, and it has a loyal demographic of clients, patrons, whatever you want to call them. But you guys have a loyal following, and it's been around, like I said, since 1965, so almost as long as my mom's been around. You're welcome, Mom, if you're watching. Did you ever think of totally rebranding and changing the name and just capitalizing on the location, since it's been there for so long? And obviously you didn't. But did you think about it, and why didn't you?
No, we had many people tell us that we should, like people who.
It was something that we took a look at, but the fact that this location has been open this long with that same name, it meant a lot, and we felt like there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to continue that on. It may not be what most people would have suggested, saying that, give it a new name, give it new life, we felt that we could give it new life inside, but keep that name that everybody had worked so hard over the years to keep going. And on top of it, we liked the name. The name still spoke to us. We thought it made sense. So we decided to kind of continue to run with it instead of making that change and creating a whole new personality. We felt that because Water Street has been here so long, it kind of deserved to stay. It had earned it. We had not earned the right to change the name of it yet. So we just continued on with it.
And I'll tell you why I love that. In Vegas, we're so quick to tear down and rebuild. Everything gets torn down and rebuilt. Nothing has character. That's just the way we do things. And I love that you guys stuck to the, like you said, like you guys left it the way it is and kept the name. It's not a hotel that you just come in and bulldoze. And, you know, we have nothing that's been around. And I think that's part of a little why we lack a little charm and some of those things. And I think that's partially why Water Street has that charm and that character, because a lot of things have been there for so long. And I say so long, they've been there for 55 years, 60 years maybe, when in other cities and places, things have been there for 100 years, 150 years. But in Las Vegas, that's a long time. So I love that you guys did that and you were true to, you know, like you said, you're standing on the shoulders of giants. So, you know, you're still honoring all the hard work that other people put in before you. So I think that's really cool that you guys did that. Let's talk a little bit about the gaming, because you guys do have gaming as well. But you're not a typical gaming bar. You're not a Dottie's. You're not one of those type of places. Were you a little bit intimidated about getting your gaming license? I know several people that have a gaming license or had a gaming license, and I hear that it's a pretty arduous process and that it can be very invasive. Like they want to know everything about you, probably ask for a DNA sample, and probably going to have to get a COVID test now. But so tell me a little bit about that, and like how was that for you? Was it scary?
Because you have to answer like where you lived 20 years ago, and I don't remember. I mean, Tana is obviously the much more stable of us, so it was like I've owned a house and I've worked in one place my entire life.
And I've dated one woman.
So his was, I filled out his application, so that was much easier to fill out. You know, but it was like, what's your dad's birthday? And, you know, so I had to call his parents to find that out. But you have to, if we have much more complicated lives, it would have been a lot more difficult. So you have to put down any business partnership you have. And that's one thing that we've always stayed away from is it's just us and any of the businesses that we own. We don't have other parties, which was not intentional, but that helped us with the gaming process. So if you had, you know, multiple partnerships with multiple people and a lot of ex-spouses and they've been remarried, and then it would have been a lot more difficult because you have to do a background on all those people to make sure you're on the up and up.
So multiple baby daddies, not a good thing when you're going through that process.
So these are our first marriages. So that was easier, where we didn't have to find out where did our ex move to and have they been remarried.
And who did they marry several times over? Yeah, very cool. And then how many slots do you, are they even called slots? Whatever. How many of those things do you have?
We currently have 11 machines here.
Oh, machines. That's what they're called, because they don't have a. Okay, 11 machines. And do you find that is a draw, or is it just there as a bonus? And like, do you think if you didn't have them, people would stop coming? Do you think no?
It's gaming is secondary to our business. Many taverns, that's the bulk of their revenue. The gaming process, there's two steps. So the first is they got space lease. So the first year and a half, we didn't actually make any revenue from the slots. It was almost like Golden Gaming just rented our bar top to put the machines in.
Okay.
Last summer we got our full gaming license, so we could participate in the win of it. So it took about 2 years to go through that full background, and that's with how easy our lives are of growing up here, going to school here, no other spouses, no other weird businesses. We're not on the board of anything. But if we didn't have gaming, we would still be profitable.
Okay.
The numbers, but it's truly secondary to our revenue.
So was there gaming there prior to you guys owning it, or you added gaming?
It was here before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It just has never been a huge gaming location.
Okay, fair enough. I know that you guys are both incredibly hands-on. Every time I've ever, well, pretty much since you guys have owned the place, I don't meet you anywhere but the bar or the tavern. And it seems to be a theme with most small businesses. The owners are very involved, or I should say most successful. And I think that's the difference between a good business owner and a not so good business owner. Do you find that keeping staff is a little bit easier because you are good owners and good employers? Because I know that type of staff is a high turnover just by nature of that employment.
I think some people are going to grow with us and they can see our vision, and then not everybody does. Maybe us being here all the time, for some people, they might think that's more micromanaging, and then some people could love it, because if you wanted to bring in a specific tequila, we're here, tell us why, and we'll find the tequila and we'll bring it in for you. Where a lot of people like that, and then a lot of people think, oh my gosh, they're here again, it's Monday. We do inventory every week, and we do counts, and we'll let them know this is a new product that we're bringing in, or give us your thoughts on this. And then also like, hey guys, make sure we're bringing in whatever product it is, because and on a busy night that's going to happen, but we just let them know like we're here, and we're watching, and we're not going to be mad. Like if there's something that happened inside the bar, like we understand, like you can't control your customers. We'll be there to offer training and help and anything we can do. But not everybody wants that type of, I guess, management. Yeah.
Some people just don't want to be managed, period.
Right.
So I get that. I have to ask this question because I think that everybody wants to know this. But now that you own a bar, do you find yourself drinking more, less, higher quality liquor, or maybe you're drinking a lot of White Claw, but the cheapest thing there because it needs to be gotten rid of? How have your drinking habits changed, if at all?
I drink so much more, and I drink beer, which I never drank beer before. I think product goes home with us if it hasn't sold, and it's nearing the expiration life.
So you have a lot of Truly?
Yeah, we actually do. And like, let's say, it's no longer stout season, but if we still had some stouts left over, I would take those home and, and drink them, just because we want to open up the space for whatever we're going to. And then what do you think? Do you drink more now?
I wouldn't, I drink more of the leftovers now, right? Before maybe we had a choice. Now we get the leftover, what maybe isn't going over like gangbusters at the bar. So, that's.
So that's what all of your friends and family get for Christmas. You get a Truly, everybody gets Truly.
So we had a lot of Plains to Rock. And so I would bring that to parties. And then I brought it to a party, and then somebody brought that to another party. Like they re-gifted the bottle.
It's re-gifted. Yeah. The gift that keeps on giving. Okay. Since COVID hit and everybody was pretty much everybody was shut down, but certainly every bar and restaurant, your business had to completely shut down.
Yeah.
What have you been doing? What have your employees been doing? I know you've been at the bar quite a bit.
Right. And so we have, we've kind of provided lunch. So if they're in the area, we'll do it a couple times a week because we had a product that was going to go bad. So we've helped our staff order products from our distributors. So especially in the beginning, like if you needed toilet paper, if you needed cleaning products, we were still able to acquire those from the commercial lines. Mm-hmm. So we allowed them to, take what they needed from the bar. And then we also wanted to have some type of community while, being socially distant. But if you wanted lunch, we'd have, a hot lunch cooked, and people could come in and, say hi and kind of figure out what was going on in the world and visit a little bit while being safe.
For your employees you're talking about, right? Yeah.
We didn't do any type of curbside. It just didn't really fit our business model. Mm-hmm. The businesses I know who've done it, they're only doing maybe 10% of what their capacity is. And that's just so much expense product that you don't know if you're going to sell it or not. So we didn't know if that would make sense for us to do.
Yeah. Because that's not your primary.
No,
that's not your primary moneymaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you find that your employees were enjoying that and that was helping you guys stay connected in a way?
Yeah, it was nice to hear how they're doing, if they needed anything, that they were still in town and round, healthy. Yeah. And it's nice that they still have a community amongst themselves that they can, I think they generally like each other and they like the bar. And so it was nice to see that still continued even though we were shut down.
And nice to see that you guys as the owners cared enough to do that, to provide that for them, to give them the opportunity to get toilet paper when there was none, I mean, or cleaning products or whatever. That's, I think, really cool of you guys. What do you see for the future of Gold Mine once you are allowed to reopen? Do you have an idea of what it's going to look like? I know we were talking beforehand. A bar is a place where people go to sit close and talk close and, I don't know, get drunk and make out with a random person. I've never done that, but I've been with my husband since before we were even allowed to legally drink. So, but I imagine that's what people do. So how's this going to work?
I think that's still up in the air on our side. We're willing to stay flexible. The big thing for us is we want the customer's experience to be the best it can be. And so we'll see where, everything takes us. We've got some grand plans for the location anyway, and we're hoping we can continue to move those forward. So that's expansion of our patio, going to a permanent kitchen, really taking advantage of our patio area so that the live music element of our business can continue to build. It's right now we were always at capacity on live show nights, and we have the room for it, so we'd like to take advantage of it and to let people kind of spread out. We know that coming back, the social distancing element of it, we know there's going to be a part that plays. So when we get final guidelines, we'll see what that means to our current space, which is not the largest of bars.
But you guys do have that patio that's pretty large. So that does give you the flexibility where other bars don't have typically an outdoor, if it's a true bar, not a bar and restaurant, they don't have that outdoor space to expand upon.
Correct.
Yeah. So we're hoping with beautiful weather that if we are to open in June 1 or whatever arbitrary date it is, that we can use that. We have some tables out in front of our bar that people can, also sit at in a bar rail. So we can get as many people in while still being safe if they want to come. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. I have a feeling people have been cooped up for so long, they want to get out just anywhere. I've never been so excited to get in my car and go for a drive and maybe end up nowhere to get gas. I don't know. So I have a feeling I'm not the only one. One of my girlfriends posted this morning and said, if you knew that the last time you went to TJ Maxx or Home Goods was going to be the last time, you would have gone harder. And so let's make a date just to walk the aisles and drink coffee. But so I think people are going to be very excited to return once they're able to.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
If you could have done just one thing differently before buying Gold Mine or in the very beginning, what would it have been and why?
On my side, I probably would have enjoyed trying to get to the facelift a little bit earlier for the bar, to make it feel like it was ours more to begin with. It took time and some additional planning, and a lot of that just had to do with, I think, the fact that we didn't know if we were actually going to close. It was a long process. It was something that we really didn't have any background in. So we wouldn't be shocked if somebody said that, you're not the right fit for it. So there wasn't as much time spent beforehand. And I think that was what prevented it. But that's what I probably would have liked, to hit the ground running and, give that new look day one instead of waiting months before it actually occurred.
So almost like a first time.
Yeah.
They're so nervous and they don't think that they're actually going to close until it actually closes. And they can't enjoy the process. And then once they get in, they want to make it theirs, but they just don't get around to it because they're, occupied with other things. And once they finally make it their own, they're like, why didn't I do that sooner?
Yeah.
So very much, because it's your first time owning this type of business, not first time owning a business. So, and what about on your side, Sam?
I think that would be accurate. I think if I would have spent a little bit more time looking at the cost of like an ice maker, kegerator, to truly understand the commercial equipment that goes behind it, that's something I didn't understand. So it's like, if I want to replace our ice maker, that's a really expensive project, and then to also say, well, what does it cost to keep repairing it? And so if I would have known those numbers a little bit differently, I think we would have. I just wish I was a little bit more educated on the actual equipment of it.
Yeah.
Than anything else. Yeah.
Okay. Goldmine has a Facebook page, and you guys post your specials. I see all the time, like, okay, this band is playing, or it's this special. I don't know what it could be. It could be $2.99 this, or it's this Truly's for buy one Truly get one free, because then we're not bringing another one home. I'm just kidding. If anyone wants to know what's happening at the Goldmine, is that the place that they should be looking? Is that Facebook?
I think most people get their information from social media now, because it's easier if you 5 different places, that it's all just right there, opposed to going to whatever stores. And it has an events page. We had just launched a new website right before COVID that would have all of our bands and our menus.
Okay.
I just think Facebook is such an easier place to do that. And we also do like Facebook ads where we can try to, let's say we're bringing in a band that's like a Carlos Santana band. I can target people who like Carlos Santana to let them know about it. And they may not have been to the Goldmine. They may not even live near us, but I can go out 15 miles. This is actually something I learned in one of your classes for real estate. But I can target them through Instagram and Facebook to get them to come out to the bar to hear our music. And then hopefully we've got a customer for live. So that's something that we've found helpful with social media, where if it was just our regular website, we wouldn't be able to do that.
Are you guys on Instagram?
Not very well, but yes.
That's okay. So that's something that we're going to work on, because there's a loyal following on Instagram. And I think probably the target demographic, the people that are visiting Water Street now. I know that there are, I don't want to say an older crowd, but you have a loyal following that's been coming for years and years and years. And those people probably are not looking on Instagram or Facebook, but to attract new people, I think that's a great idea. But I've got on the bottom of the screen, right down there, it has your location, which is 23 South Water Street. So basically, if you head east on Lake Mead, all the way to Water Street, you hang a right, and then you guys are on the left-hand side. You really can't miss it. And then also there's your website, which is thegoldminetavern.com, and then the phone number. And the reason I put that on there is so that if you're not on Facebook, if you're not on Instagram, you guys can check out the website, or you can call to see if and when, once they know they're open. But that'll give you a phone number so that you guys can keep checking. And the biggest thing that I'm really trying to promote right now, I've always been a huge supporter of, what are you laughing at, Sam? What are the kids doing?
No, my kids, I don't even know where they are right now. No, how many people still call like on a Friday to find out who the band is playing? Like, it's crazy that's still.
They do?
Yeah, like all day long they'll call.
You just need to have a message that says, today is Chanel Beller singing a cappella. So and then press 1 if you want to speak to the bartender, or it's Todd jamming out on ukulele. 1 if you want to speak to the change the message. But what I was saying is, my biggest thing is I've always been a huge proponent of supporting local business. Ever more than right now. I think it's so important that we support all of our local businesses. They can come back and they can stay alive, and they can continue to be these places that we love and enjoy. And because a lot of them are suffering, a lot of them haven't been able to qualify, or haven't been able to get, it's not qualify, but they haven't been able to get any of these federal assistance programs. So the hashtag that I've been using is Be Vocal, Support Local. And I really, really encourage anybody who's watching, if you know who local is, if there's anything that you can do to support them, please do that. As soon as the Goldmine's open, maybe that's not a place that you would have normally gone to, but go check it out. I mean, that might be a place you love to go. You just never know if you haven't checked it out. One of the things, I don't live in Henderson, and I don't drink that much, contrary statement about barfing in the bathroom, but that's like a once a year thing. But I still go there and check it out. You know, I try to support my friends. I try to support local businesses. And I think you should too, especially right now. One thing right now, anybody that's watching can do to support you. Can they share your Facebook page? I know they can't come in and have a drink. I know they can't have any food, but what's the thing that they can?
If they want to, reach out to us on Facebook. Let us know some of the bands they'd like to see play at our location. You know, these are things that our calendar was filled, you know, moving forward, and every month and every day that this continues on, like we're having to reshuffle everything moving forward. So reach out, let us know what you'd like to see, and you know, we'll make sure that it makes the calendar in some fashion.
And then here's a suggestion that I have that I've seen other places, not here necessarily, but maybe you guys can do like a how to make a certain cocktail, and that's a video that you can post on your Facebook page. So they can have an at-home cocktail, and they can make like a peanut butter and jelly shot or something like that. So that might be something fun that you guys could do.
Yeah, once we know we can open, we've got like a whole line of videos that we want to start doing. We want to make sure it's going towards we're looking forward to something. If instead of morning, like we can't all hang out there, that it's like, hey, you know, it's 10 days so we can open, or, you know, T-9, here's how, you know, so-and-so makes their margarita.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got that plan. It's just, we didn't want it to get lost in the news about when we're opening or not opening, or.
I completely understand. And it's such a moving target. Nobody knows, you know, is it June 1? Is it June 15? Is it, you know, who knows? And then the last thing that I wanted to just say, other than thank you guys for watching. If you're watching the rebroadcast, you know, leave a comment, ask a question. I know how to reach Sam at all hours of the day. If not, I can find Todd. And if not, I'll find the kids. But I also wanted to let you guys know that I do work for WFG National Title. I put this together because we are all in some sort of business, and this is designed for you guys to maybe get a tip, a trick, a nugget, a something that you can apply in your business. Again, whether you're a stay-at-home mom with a side hustle, a CEO, just an entrepreneur, or in business of some sort. But I work at WFG National Title, and my job is to either help real estate agents, lenders, do more business, but most importantly, to get escrows in the door. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, I work with fantastic real estate agents. If you're refinancing, I work with fantastic lenders, and it's your choice on title and escrow. So if you're thinking about doing those things, let your agent know that you want to work with me at WFG, and you'll get fantastic service, and I will take great care of you. And that's it for this week.
We bought the gold mine with WFG.
Yes, I was so excited. And that's the one thing that I can't tell you enough is I find myself surrounded by strong business women and men too, Todd. But I love to see other people succeed. There's nothing that makes me happier than seeing my friends, my clients succeed and succeed at a high level. It's really exciting to watch this happen after being in business for 20 years. That's what drives me every single day, is to see things like this happen and to see their businesses evolve. I think it's just such a cool thing, and I can't wait to see more of this. And then just real quick, next week, we're going to have Callie, the owner of Habit, a hair salon. And we're going to talk about that because like we all need to get our hair did.
Yes.
Let's be honest. Todd's hair's looking pretty short. Looks like he got a home haircut. So we'll have that on next week, and we'll be talking about that. But I really want to thank you, Sam and Todd, for your time and your information and your expertise. And again, please go visit the Gold Mine Tavern. I think you will love it. I know you'll love it. And then what you think?
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Janelle. Bye-bye.